In a move that has sent ripples through the music world, the electrifying rock sensation known as Yungblud has made the difficult decision to cancel all remaining tour dates for the year, following urgent medical advice that has left fans both concerned and supportive. At just 28 years old, this dynamic artist, whose real name is Dominic Harrison, has built a reputation for his raw energy, unfiltered lyrics, and a stage presence that feels like a rebellion wrapped in melody. But behind the chaos of his performances lies a young man who has pushed his body and voice to the absolute limit, and now, those limits have spoken back with a stern warning. Through a deeply personal and vulnerable social media message, Yungblud opened up to his devoted followers about the necessity of this pause, revealing that recent tests on his voice and blood work uncovered issues serious enough to demand an immediate halt to his grueling schedule. Imagine the scene, a sold-out arena pulsating with the screams of thousands, Yungblud leaping across the stage, sweat-drenched and screaming anthems of defiance and heartbreak. That's the Yungblud experience, one that has defined his meteoric rise from a Doncaster lad to a global icon. Yet, in the quiet aftermath of these shows, the toll becomes evident. He admitted in his post that it's in his very DNA to charge forward relentlessly, to ignore the whispers of fatigue in favor of one more encore, one more connection with the crowd. But this time, the signals from his body were impossible to dismiss. The concerns raised by his medical tests weren't just minor hiccups. They pointed toward potential long-term damage that could silence the voice that's become a beacon for a generation grappling with mental health, identity, and societal pressures. "I don't want to do anything that causes lasting harm," he wrote, his words laced with the regret of someone who lives for the live show but recognizes the fragility beneath the bravado. The cancellations hit hard, affecting a string of eagerly anticipated performances across North America and beyond. Fans in Philadelphia, where the electric buzz of the city's rock scene would have amplified his punk-infused setlist, now faced the disappointment of empty calendars. Cleveland, a heartland hub for gritty music lovers, loses out on what promised to be a night of cathartic release. Washington, D.C., with its mix of political tension and cultural vibrancy, won't echo with his calls for unity and rebellion. And then there's Mexico City and the broader Latin American leg, a region where Yungblud's message of inclusivity and anti-establishment fire has resonated deeply, forging bonds that transcend language barriers. These shows weren't just gigs, they were pilgrimages for fans who found solace in tracks like Parents, or The Funeral, songs that dissect the pains of growing up in a world that often feels rigged against you. Yungblud's empathy shines through in how he's handling the fallout. He fully acknowledges the frustration rippling through his fan base. The hotel bookings upended, the outfits planned around his aesthetic, the emotional investment in what these concerts represent. "I get it and I'm gutted too," he seems to say, bridging the gap between artist and audience with the authenticity that's his hallmark. To soften the blow, he's ensuring full refunds for all U.S. ticket holders, a practical gesture that underscores his commitment to fairness. But he doesn't stop at logistics. In a touch that's quintessentially Yungblud, playful yet profound, he's offering personalized gifts to anyone willing to share their address upon sign-up. Picture it, a handwritten note, a signed vinyl, or perhaps a custom doodle from the man whose tattoos tell stories of his own scars. It's a small token, but in an industry often criticized for its detachment, it's a reminder that music is about human connection. Looking ahead, Yungblud's optimism cuts through the disappointment like a riff from his guitar. He vows a triumphant return next year, recharged and ready to reclaim the stages with even more ferocity. There's talk of rethinking accessibility, particularly for his Latin American devotees. High ticket prices have long been a thorn in the side of live music, turning what should be a communal joy into an exclusive club. Yungblud, ever the disruptor, is exploring ways to make his shows more affordable in Mexico and surrounding countries, perhaps through tiered pricing, community partnerships, or even pop-up events in less conventional venues. This isn't just lip service, it's aligned with his ethos, seen in initiatives like Bloodfest, the festival he founded to democratize the UK music scene. Bloodfest isn't your average glitzy extravaganza with VIP lounges and overpriced merch. It's a deliberate counterpoint, offering tickets at a fraction of the cost of behemoths like Glastonbury, while still delivering a lineup that packs a punch. To truly appreciate the weight of this moment, one must rewind to Yungblud's journey, a narrative as compelling as any of his songs. Born Dominic Richard Harrison in 1997, he grew up in the industrial shadows of Doncaster, a place where economic hardship and social conservatism could stifle dreams. But music was his escape hatch. Influenced by the raw urgency of Arctic Monkeys and the theatrical flair of Green Day, He began busking on streets and uploading demos to YouTube, his voice a gritty blend of British snarl and universal ache. By 2018, with the release of his debut EP Ungodly Hour, he was no longer a bedroom producer but a festival headliner, his hair dyed electric hues and his lyrics dissecting everything from toxic masculinity to the loneliness of fame. His discography is a roadmap of evolution. 21st Century Liability in 2018 captured the angst of youth in a digital age, tracks like Psychotic Kids becoming anthems for those feeling like outsiders. Then came Weird, in 2020, a #1 UK album that leaned into pandemic-era isolation, with songs that felt like therapy sessions set to blistering guitars. His self-titled 2022 release pushed boundaries further, blending rock with electronic edges and collaborations that broadened his appeal. And now, Idols, his latest opus, grapples with idolatry in the social media era, how we're all worshippers and worshipped, chasing validation in likes and shares. It's no wonder the album snagged Grammy nods. Best Rock Album for the whole shebang and Best Rock Song for Zombie, a haunting critique of numbness in modern life. That track, with its pulsing bass and eerie vocals, isn't just music, it's a mirror held up to a scrolling society. Beyond the Grammys, Yungblud's accolades paint a picture of an artist who's not just talented but transformative. His cover of Changes at Black Sabbath's farewell gig, a nod to the metal gods who paved his path, was a masterclass in reverence and reinvention, his voice soaring over Ozzy's shadows. It's like, I Think I'm Okay, a collaboration with Machine Gun Kelly that captures the spiral of self-doubt, have racked up millions of streams, while Fleabag taps into the messiness of fleeting romances with a wink and a curse. 3 UK #1 albums under his belt, Weird, the self-titled and now Idols, cement his commercial clout, but it's the cultural impact that lingers. At awards like the Nordhoff and Robbins Northern Music Awards, where he nabbed Disruptor of the Year, he celebrated not for sales alone but for shaking the foundations, advocating for mental health resources in music, championing LGBTQ+.